First, he's back home and live from London, Mr. Russell Brand.
Online, on digital, and on 88 to 91 FM. BBC Radio 2. Russell Brand.
Los Ramones, you're listening to Russell Brand on BBC Radio 2. We are live tonight. This is actually happening now, unless you're listening to the podcast, in which case it's simply happening then. I'm here with Matt Morgan. He is my co-host and cohort. Are you all right?
I'm very, very well.
Why are you fiddling with those buttons even now when it wasn't a button fiddle moment?
Because there's another song to be played soon, and that's on a different thing.
That's enticing. See, that's the world of buttons for you. What a show we've got in store for you. Guess what some of the things that are going to happen are. These are those things. 1. David Walliams is coming here into this actual room. Walliams will be here for the last half hour. We can quiz him. If you've got any inquiries of David Walliams, any requests, any voices you'd like to hear him doing, send us those requests. We can impose it upon him. Any curiosities about how's your father, his behaviour, his wife's name, send us that. Noel Gallagher, as usual, will be on this radio show. I spoke to him a bit earlier. He's doing what he calls an album. One can only quake with terror at what it actually might be that's coming out of him. Also, guess who else we might be having on the show? Voice of Zippy.
No.
Yeah, we might. Nick, who's a producer of this programme, says Voice of Zippy, we might be able to get hold of him. That'd be good, isn't it? Because we'll be able to get him to do stuff.
That will be good, isn't it?
That's right, that's what I'm saying, yes, because that's how the kids talk. Grandad! That will be good, isn't it? Okay, that's what they say while they're listening to their MP3s.
Will he do? He's got to do the Zippy.
Well, of course he has. What else is he going to do? Tell you about. I've got a wonderful collection of something or another. Like sort of seeing enemies or something.
Wonder what else he's done.
That's it. We'll find out.
He's ashamed of the Zippy job.
He won't be ashamed.
Some serious drama.
He'll be really proud of it. We can get him to say, "Oh, hello, Russell. Well, go on, show us it." Let's make him do sex talk.
What, a Zippy?
Yeah. Oh, God, just now you're getting me real stiff. Stuff like that.
Oh,
well, we could get him to do that if we wanted to. That's other things you can send us. Text us, 88291. Text us on that number, things you want us to get Zippy or Walliams to say.
We better explain who Zippy is for our American listeners.
No way. Those Americans, after the way they've treated our special relationship. I had a special relationship as a child once, very nearly ruined me. I'll tell you what, alright, if you are from America or somewhere else that ain't here, Zippy, he's like
Elmo. From Sesame Street.
He's like Elmo from Sesame Street. That's wrong, because Zippy is very anarchic.
Cookie Monster.
Cookie Monster, maybe, or the Grouch or something. Just think of a puppet character from a children's show that's sort of anarchic and needlessly aggressive and looks like... So he's quite a believable character, isn't it? It's like he's got his own agenda, really. You can give us a ring if you want on 0500 288 291, or you can email russell.brand@bbc.co.uk. Let's have a look at just some of the emails you have sent us this week. This is from someone called... Oh no, where's that gay lad? Some young gay lad sent me an email. I thought I'll help this gay lad if I can. Oh God, I've put too much stuff all over the place. Here he is. This is from a gay lad. Hello guys and Russell, says young gay Ben. I'm Ben. I'm a young gay guy trying to get onto the scene. I gotta get up onto the scene. There's a real gay scene that's going on. I gotta get onto the scene. Well, David Walliams will be here later. He will grease your path onto the gay scene. And what better time to join the gay scene? I think Gay Pride's going on down in Brighton. I think something's going on like that. I don't know. Well, don't look at me like that, Matt. Even if I was gay, I'd be properly... If I was
just
gay...
waiting for you to say something like, Matt's got a vest on. Because of that. Just got back.
I'm not trying to draw attention to your vest. You're obsessed with vests lately. It's like working with old man Steptoe. Hi, I'm a young gay guy trying to get on the scene. Have you got any tips, and are the rumours about Matt and Noel right? Wink, wink. Well, wink, wink is not what they've been doing, let me tell you. You're just one letter out. I could be your gay ambassador for the revolution. But, Ben, you can be. We will have a nice gay ambassador. It can be you. You're a nice
Why is he
young gay lad.
asking you about how to get onto the gay scene?
Well, I don't know, he just trusts me, I guess. I think he must just think I'm a young guy, I'm pretty hip, I'm pretty cool about the town, I've got a crazy haircut, I've worn a pair of trousers or two in my time, I know what it's like.
How would you go about getting on the gay scene?
Just find a nice looking fella, just try and get hold of him.
Yeah, but that's not the scene, is it?
Well, I don't know what they're up to, mate. All I know is there's a lot of guys out there and they're having a hell of a time. And I want in, or to be by it, or near it. I don't know, I'll just find out where, like, I'll find out someone who's gay, who's a mate of mine, and go, here, there's this lad here, he wants to go on the set. Well, I will do that. Who do we know who's a good gay? Who's our mate that's gay then?
We've weeded them all out, haven't we?
Slowly and systematically. Is Mikey, who works on this show, a bit gay?
No.
Isn't he? I often
No,
wonder if
he was always sleazing on all the birds.
Oh, yeah, he was always sleazing on the birds,
Unless
wasn't he?
that was his cover-up.
Cover-up, he's not accepted his gayness. Hold on a minute, we know loads of gay people. Philip Salon, he's nice and gay.
He's very gay.
Yeah, we could ask him about... He is the gay scene, damn it. Simon Ampstill. He's gay as you like. He's up in Edinburgh. I think as well there's a new boyfriend opening for it there, because he got rid of... Hello. Because he's recently got... I think he might be single again, so he'll be looking for a fella. And this young Ben... Ben, send us your phone number, mate. We'll get you... You'll be passed around like a plate of biscuits around the London scene. You're going to have the time of your life, young man. Yeah. Anyway, he goes, I know Tyrone McCarthy from last week's show. Who's Tyrone McCarthy from last week's show?
I really don't know.
We don't know that anyone called it. And he is a super freak, and the guy from Coronation Street abuses dogs. Ben, listen, this
isn't for our show.
Unenforceable. Ben, perhaps he's just sent me this privately.
Wogan.
Yeah, no, Terry would not react positively at all to that. If you sent this to Terry Wogan, get me on the gay scene. Oh, really? He wouldn't like it, would he?
No, he would.
Do you reckon? Wogan? Wogan's got no contacts in the gay scene.
He's got contacts everywhere.
Have a look under his desk, see what's going on under there. Well, hello there.
Okay.
If it isn't the biggest manual of gay joints, saunas and bathhouses I've ever seen. All covered in Wogan's clammy thumbprints.
Big red ticks next to all the London ones.
Big red ticks. And look at that one. That one's got a shamrock next to it. Look at that. The Chariot sauna and the gay bathhouse in Shoreditch. There's a great big Wogan's wink right next to it. PPS, could you please play The Coral, Jacqueline, or The Pixies, Where Is My Mind? Played that quite recently. Or Suffragette City by Bowie. Played that quite recently. We might be able to play that Coral one.
Yes.
I don't know if it's here. We'll play it for you, mate.
We'll have some coral.
Good luck being a gay in that, sunshine. Let them have it. Give them both barrels. And, yeah, good work with coming out of the closet there. Here's another email before we move right on with our show that we're doing out of our mouths. This is from Rosie. Hi, Russell. My boyfriend and I listen to your show every week. Last week, it sparked a very important debate over which of you would be the best person to be stuck on a desert island with. My boyfriend immediately picked you, as he thinks that you would keep his spirits up by making him laugh.
Oh my
Yes, I would.
God.
What? I'd be great on the desert island.
Yeah, if there was a camera there and it was a TV show, it'd be all right. But if you were just on a desert island...
What do you think? Do you think I'd not cope well, Matt?
People's spirits up. Oh my God.
I'd be great fun. Hey, let's get the coconuts. Let's have a crazy time. I'd keep everyone real upbeat, wouldn't I? Do you think I might become a bit dour, narcissistic, self-involved?
I think you'd build a raft out of his body in about 12 minutes.
You're going to have to sacrifice yourself. I can't live here on this land where there's no telly, where there's no fame. I'm leaving you. This girl, though, chose Matt as he sounds like a male version of me. She must be an interesting
Hang
woman.
on, is that a compliment or an insult?
Well, I think it's a very grave insult for both of you, being like each other. Would you settle our dispute and tell us who would be most adept at desert island survival? I think, Rosie, that Mr. G, conversely, would be the best person to be on a desert island with, because that guy, he can write a poem about anything you like.
I would be, because I've got survival skills.
You've not got no survival skills. You go, or when you told me you went orienteering, there's a cut up and your friend ended up pregnant or something awful happened. What went on? Something weird happened, didn't it?
I set fire to a heath.
You set fire to a heath, and a boy went into the woods, done a poo, and came out and said, I've just been sick out of my bottom. Now, if that is what you think a survival skill, you said that.
If I was stuck on a desert island with you, I would just swim off to the horizon.
You'd love it there, me and you, on our little desert island. Of course it would. Every night we'd put on a big show for all the animals and all the bears. It'd be great. We'd have a lovely time. Okay, so I think none of us would be any good on a desert island. People here from the Radio Times are taking photographs of us. Hello, you're called Charlie, aren't you?
That's right.
Charlie, the man from Radio Times. Well, OK, Charlie, you snap away. Who's this other fella? He's called Danny. What's he up to, then? If you're the photographer, who is this guy? Is he your bit of muscle?
No, I thought this was Mamma Mia.
You thought it was Mamma Mia?
Yeah.
What? Why? On what basis?
No, I was just walking past.
Okay. Oh, he thought he was in the West End to see a show, because we're in fashionable London. That's where this show takes place. Okay, so yeah, you can text us on 88291. You can phone us on 0500 288 291. Email russell.brand@bbc.co.uk with your questions for Noel Gallagher or the bloke who does the voice of Zippy. No, Walliams. Don't bother questioning Noel Gallagher. He's surly. He just ignores it. You should see how he treats people. It's awful.
We want questions for Zippy, though.
We want questions for Zippy. Get things that you'd like to hear him say, yeah? But remember, this is BBC Radio, so we can't say anything berserk. It's got to be stuff that's decent. What?
You do.
What? What have I ever said, guy?
Put your nipples away.
No way! My nipples are out. The show is live. The Radio Times are here. Get that down your Radio Times pipe. A big picture of my sexy, what can only be described as adorable nipples. There. I hope you like 'em, Mum. I'd like to dedicate these nipples to Her Majesty the Queen of England. God bless you. Let's listen to the Box Tops. They'll blow your mind. The Vox Tops, the letter. You listen to Russell Brand on Radio 2. We are live in London now with what is in Europe. This is from Sarah in Basingstoke. You all right, Russell? You sound like you have a bit of a cold. I have got a little bit of a cold.
Oh, you haven't mentioned it at all.
I've been actually quite ill, but I still just carried on, done our TV programme, what's called Russell Brand's Ponderland.
I go
That'll be
from
on
strength
October.
to strength.
What do you mean?
Ex-hypochondriac.
You've not witted on about your imaginary illnesses for a little while, Matthew, but your hypochondria is far from cured. Just the other day, you bought yourself some external bra because you said your back's the wrong shape to force his shoulders backwards. It was like a bra made out of sort of foam stuff, a foam bra,
Don't talk
all
about my
trussed
bra.
up. And then he's all embarrassed, told me, oh, I was in the cinema and I was trying to relax and I undone my top, undone my hoodie to relax, and then when the cinema lights came up at the end, I noticed I had my bra on and I scrambled to do it up, spilling popcorn over my already erect penis. Which is yes, you can. That's not rude. That's just a bit of medical language.
Explain the truth behind that.
I've got an email here. Say it, go on then.
It is a posture support, not a bra. It looks like a bra.
You are a bit slovenly and slouched, actually.
Well, that's
so
why.
it's about time. Why aren't you wearing it now? Why don't you put it on while we're on the webcam? We're on the webcam if you want to have a look at us.
I'll wear it next week, if you're into that.
bbc.co.uk. Yes, I am into it.
You wore the bra for over an hour and you said, I like this.
I do like, actually. It was quite nice to wear it. And because I just love bras so much, I find them such enticing things. I like, you know, if I see a bra just in a ditch, I'd still go, oh, you dirty little bra.
Do you?
Yeah, of course, because it's still a bra. The connotations there. I mean, bras only exist
when
for
they've all gone
boobs.
grey and...
Well, then I'd just check the size, and you know, I wouldn't give it too much attention if it's gone grey, unless it might be someone's lucky bra. I believe that goes on. I believe people have lucky
Yeah,
bras.
of course. You've got lucky pants, haven't you?
All my pants are lucky. They get to be clamped right up in my nutbag. God bless you, Mary Jane. Okay. Listen, I've got an email.
So anyway,
here.
what happened was I was wearing
you wore a bra.
I had
That's
it
what
on under my
happened.
hoodie. I was in the cinema, so I thought I'll take this off. No one can see me in the dark. Then when the lights came
I've
up,
told everyone this story already. I don't know why you're trying to justify it and make yourself out to be some Rosa Parks civil rights leader. And from that day forth, black people and white people rode together on the buses, and it was all thanks to me and my bra. Oh, get you butter! Oh, get you butter!
I'll burn that bra tonight when I get in.
Burn it, because it's a symbol of female oppression, which is why I've always loathed the bra. Sarah from Basingstoke. You all right, Russell? You sound like you've got a bit of a cold. Get Zippy to say, I'd rather have a bowl of Cocoa Pops. Fine, get that, so we can get that to happen. Someone please make a list of Zippy's demands for when we ring him, and ask Walliams where he got the inspiration for Ray McCooney from. Which one was Ray McCooney? Which character is that? Ray McCooney. Is that...
Oh, is it the hotel bloke?
Yeah, it's that one. Oh, we'll find out. And why they dropped him after the first series. Hope you feel all right. Love from Sarah. Sarah, I feel much better. Thank you for your encouragement. I ain't one to make a fuss, nor a scene, nor nothing. This is from Emily Southend. Hi, Russell, Matt and G. Glad to hear you're actually live again. I'm coming to see you in Croydon in September. Will you do a meet and greet so I can get a hug? Yeah, I will. Here's a poem for you, and it seems to fit in well as Zippy is coming on the show. Zippy and Bungle went to the jungle so they could have some fun. Zippy got silly and flopped out his willy and stuck it up Bungle's bum. Now, Emily... on the weekend of Gay Pride, for you to reduce homosexual love to this cheap parody is at best stinking hateful prejudice for which dear Oscar Wilde was needlessly imprisoned. But, well done, it's quite childish, but I'm sure you're not a prejudiced person, you're just having a bit of fun, aren't you, darling? P.S. Have you got any songs by
Also,
robots?
they're not men.
Huh?
They're not men. One's a bear.
He's a man bear.
What's Zippy then? He's not even a...
He's definitely male, isn't he? From his
Alien.
There's no way that he's concealing a vagina with that personality.
He might not have...
Oh, come on, oh, Christ, it's my time of the month. Come on, he's definitely a bloke. He got a little zipped-up winkle, I should imagine.
Oh.
Well, we'll ask him. Put it on the list. What was Zippy's gender, and was there any
Zippy
sexual
obviously had
dynamic?
no body that went beyond his wrist.
You cynical
He had one
man.
hand.
You deeply cynical, cold-hearted man. I remember when it used to be about having fun radio, yeah? Not saying Zippy didn't have a body, that they don't have... I mean, please, Matthew, let's all just try and have a little bit of fun. Have you got any robots in disguise that you could play? I doubt it, love, because this is radio too, and we have to personally go out and get every single record that we play, and we're trapped in the 60s as it is. You're very lucky that you just don't have a show listening to skiffle music for 2 hours. We got this crazy guy, he's called Lonnie Donegan's, he's bonkers, here he goes. Stay off the Purple Hearts, Lonnie. This is from Daniel in Manchester. Hi, Russell, Matt, G, Mr Nibs and Mikey. Mikey, well, where is Mikey? He's meant to be
Yeah, where
working
is
here.
he?
We've got this new handsome lad
He's
here
not
now.
very well.
He's not very well either. What's going on in this town? People have got to change the way they're living. I've got some sort of illness. Mikey's picked up something. Foot and mouth's back. Matt Morgan wearing a bra. It's the end of the world, I tell you. This is from Daniel in Manchester. I'd hate to be stuck on a desert island with Matt Morgan. He'd always be going on about his illnesses. Mind you, he'd be like that anywhere. Good point, Daniel from Manchester. You have perfectly understood that man's character. It says in the subject, question for David. What is the question for David? Russell, Matt and G, and one of them was Shag, I don't like saying the word shag, marry or chuck off a cliff. Shag, marry or chuck off a cliff, that's what we've got to ask him, who would do which two. Okay, well, we'll do that. I know he'd want to have sex with me because he often tries to.
I don't think so.
You'll just feel one of his lemur-like arms sort of leeching round the back of you, sort of grabbing
You
hold
go
of you.
for him as well.
I do
I've
not
seen
go
you
for
two
him.
holding hands
Did we hold hands?
in the Groucho Club.
In the Groucho Club,
Disgusting
holding
display.
hands. What a sight that must have been. Yeah, but what was happening? There must have been women somewhere, must there?
I think, yeah, there's something, you were consoling each other.
I found a secretary. She seemed vulnerable in a stairwell, whereas I saw a lapsed Catholic. I teased at her with a lolly stick. This is Matt says our exchanges are ghastly. Okay, dear Russell, says Annette and Julie. She go, we're trying to think of ways to help the glory-arse, nice, glory-arse revolution. She spelled it like glory-arse, but because of things like glory holes, you can't help but think, you know. And the thought of something you simply cannot afford to overlook. We believe it would benefit the revolution enormously if you could see your way around having How's Your Father with gentlemen as well as ladies, spreading bisexual love around and thus spreading the glory-arse message to as many people as possible. If you're feeling nervous about your first forays into man-on-man action, why not try to enlist Matt G and Noel Fielding to help you practice the old sex technique? I don't think any of those people will be up for it, really. I've two of them in the room now. I'm looking at them. They look inconsolable about the whole subject, to tell you the truth. And Noel Fielding is quite, in spite of the attire, very much a heterosexual young man. I did have a dream the other day that was a bit gay. I mean, but I can't think of like a man with the right sort of shaped boobs that I'd go for, really. They just don't tend to be my type, the old fellas. But I mean, I don't know, I'll give it one more chance. I mean, I did interfere with a fella in a cubicle once, all for a television programme, and I must say I didn't enjoy it particularly, but then he wasn't, you know, he wasn't good looking enough. I mean,
You're protesting too much.
what do you mean? I'm not protesting too much, I've got nothing against it. I mean, I'm up for decadence, as you know, Matthew, but like, it's just, you know, well, it's my biology. What can I say? This is from someone called Nikki. Could you get Zippy to say quail's eggs? Yes, we can. Which will make him sound like Sean Connery. I don't know if it will make him quail's eggs. Please wish me luck as I'm starting up as a photographer. Alright, good luck being a photographer. Just come in and take photos of us if you like. She'll follow that, won't she now? Yours, hopefully. Oh, could I come to your studios and take a photo of you boys? Yeah, you can if you like. I ain't bothered. Just turn up here. Radio Times are in here now, photographing us in the most intrusive way. Poor old Matt's got an endoscope hanging out of him. So, can you see any tumours? This is from someone calling themselves Helen. Although they claim to be one person, I have a feeling that there's a platoon of them. I'm listening to you and Matt talking about Rainbow. I thought you'd like to know that I am related to Zippy, well, the guy who does his voice. It was so cool when we were younger. We all got signed photos. He's also the voice of the Daleks. Look at that.
Told you he'd done other things.
I told you that. Look at Matt jabbing out his finger like Enoch Powell, who he shares many beliefs with. And Rod, Jane and Freddie. Rod, Jane and Freddie. I wonder, did you know about their love triangle? Apparently it went something like this. Jane was married to Fred and then ran off with Rod, or the other way round. I can't remember. Anyway, lots of love. Love the show. Helen. Helen or anyone find out about that love triangle because we'll bloody well get Zippy. He'll spill the beans on that. Oh, no.
Rod, Jane and Freddie.
Why are you in their bed?
Who's the man who lived with the Rainbow people?
Jeffrey.
Jeffrey.
That's right, Jeffrey, the blonde
What was his
guy.
relationship with Rod, Jane and Freddie?
He's just their friend. There's nothing going on there,
But
Matt.
does he ever talk to them?
Stop the witch hunt. Yeah, he talks to them. They come over, he goes, well, hey, welcome, you know.
Did they used to come into the house?
They'd pop round in their primary coloured dungarees, they'd have a bit of a chat, they'd maybe sing a song, then they'd leave. There was nothing untoward going on until now we find out that there's a lot of freeways, a lot of broken hearts, and a lot of shared needles. There were not shared needles on the set of Rainbow. I would like to offer a complete retraction. I only said it because someone, what happened was, who came in here, it was Mark Thompson, who came in here and demanded that I say that. The head of the BBC itself said it was imperative that I made that announcement. Of course, that was just a silly thing to say. Right, what are we going to listen to, Matthew? What do you want to listen to?
The Coral?
Oh, we're going to listen to that thing. We're doing that request. This is for that young gay lad, young Ben. Good luck, sunshine, with your new gay life and that, mate. Let 'em have it. This is for you, Jacqueline, the Coral. Jacqueline the Coral, you're listening to Russell Brand on Radio 2. I am live here with Matt Morgan, Mr. G, the poet laureate of the show, is also here. Walliams is turning up here later. Gallagher will be on the phone and all in a bit. So will the voice of Zippy. We've already got quite a few interesting things to get him to come out with. Mick and Jane want to know if he fancied George or Bungle. Could you get him to say my bookie wook? Said Dan. I'm going to finish that bookie wook now. I'm going to finish it in October. I've got to go away somewhere.
Have you got to the bit where I'm in it?
Yes, you come across very, very badly in that book. I mean, I've looked at it, and any way I rewrite it, you still come across very much like a young Rose West.
Obsession with them.
It's because I saw a documentary about them the other day. It's just, it's bonkers the way they carried on. It's crackers what they got up to. They really should have packed it in. I mean, I think what it was is Fred West must have grown... You look all worried. Fred West grew up in a sort of a rural setting, I think, and like he had a sort of the kind of morality. You know, it's like sort of if you live in the countryside, you just shoot an animal, it don't bother you. Like, you know, I think he just managed to extend that mentality to all living creatures.
What a stereotype there, Mr. Brand.
Not all country folk.
You live in a country, you just shoot stuff.
No, I'm saying if you live in that context, you have a different. You regard yourself as part of the same cyclical thing as animals. Like, oh, they live, we eat them. You know what I mean? Which is a different, unsentimental view of like man's relationship with animals, which I think is, you know, it's not something I'm into, but you can appreciate how that would happen. The old Fred West notion that, you know, just
Are you excusing him because he had some wellies?
I'm saying Fred West and his barber coat did the only thing they could under trying circumstances. No, I'm not. Of course I'm not. I'm saying
Move along.
Fred West was a terrible, terrible chap. I hardly think that needs to be clarified. While we're on the subject of complaints, or not on the subject of complaints, but of provoking them, listen to this complaint on the BBC website. This is an anonymous complaint, so this person didn't even have the nous to send in their own identity. I was disgusted by the Russell Brand show on Saturday night, in which a lady sang out of her vagina. A lady didn't sing out of her vagina. She sang a song about her vagina. But we had all week been trailing her as being able to sing out of her vagina.
That person should be amazed.
I
'Cause
know.
if they believe that happened.
You shouldn't be thinking, if you encounter someone
lyrics will
that can sing out of their vagina, don't complain about anything. Just think, well done. You've managed without
And
any
also,
vocal
on
cords
radio,
or tongue.
That's not an offensive thing.
No, singing out of it wouldn't
Just
matter,
'cause
would it?
he's offended by the image in his own head that he made.
Probably in his dirty, grubby little complaining mind, that vagina, God knows what sort of state it was in. But, like, in reality, it was an attractive woman singing about what one can only assume was a perfectly pleasant vagina, singing lovely records about it, and I must say I found it jolly enthralling. You liked it as well, didn't you, Matt?
Yeah, I thought it was wonderful. You don't sing records, though, Russell.
You do, you sing a record out of your record box. This is from Jack. Can David Walliams do his Liam Gallagher voice? In David Walliams and Matt Lucas rock profiles, he did a very good impression of Liam Gallagher. Alright, we'll try and get that to happen. We'll try and get him to talk to Noel while doing it. So make a note of these things, because I'm certainly not remembering any of it. Hello, Russell and Matt and everyone, says Dale. I think you should get Zippy to sing a theme tune for Tunnel Vision. The Tunnel programme that we are proposing to make with Matt Morgan as the presenter is about man-made subterranean cultures and things. Maybe to the tune of Rainbow or When I'm 64. It could be quite an elaborate form of advertising. OK, Dale, we'll try and do that. Bungle and Zippy would be bestiality, says Jack. Or interspecial love, like the love between a man and a moomin. Jack is, of course, referring back to last week when I mentioned that at some point over the last 10 years I did have relations with a person who reminded me of a Moomin, and that put me... Well, it's... First of all, I was excited by the idea, but then I thought, no.
There's a Moomin theme park, isn't there?
There is a Moomin... There's a Moomin theme park. There's a Moomin theme park. I believe it's in Finland, and I would be well up for going to that.
I'd go there.
Wouldn't it be
It'd be
amazing?
sort of all off-key, wouldn't it?
Yeah, it'd be all rinsed out and weird colours, and I think it'd be a bit trippy.
And there'd be like
to
man-sized Moomins coming
Yeah.
for photos.
coming, Moomins looming at
Is
you
it
from
Finland
every
where it's
angle.
always daylight for 6
It's
months?
always daylight for 6 months. Wherever you go there, it's o'clock, whatever time you go to Moomin land. I used to love the Moomins, says Alex. I know what you mean. There used to be a girl at my school who looked just like them. They were kind of hippo-like characters. Yes, they were. They were odd little fellas, the Moomins. Russell and Co. I was surprised by your cultural reference to the Moomins. You might not know this, but the Moomins were created by a Finnish author, Tove Jansson. Of course I don't know that. I'm a Finn, Russell. I'm a Finn Russell, and I love your podcast, even though my iPod is broken. What are you listening to, you loony? That's something inside your mind. Someone here says that the Moomins have been brought back into their nightmares as a result of our Moomin chat. Someone here, having heard you talk about the Moomins, I thought I should let you know that there is a Moomin world in Finland, and you can go to it if you like.
Do you think it's really small and rubbish?
Well, it's in Finland. I mean, I don't know how much interest you
Enough,
can
a
generate.
stereotype.
Listen, I'm saying that it won't have a thriving corporate theme park there in Finland.
Yeah, but they're probably really proud of it. It's probably their main export.
Oh, actually, yeah, that's not stereotype. I believe Finland's economy is built on Moomin juice. I think what they do out there is just milk Moomins all day and all night. And when they're not bumming Moomins, they're milking them. It's the thrill of the Finnish people. We're raking in the Moomin cash, yeah.
Fish, actually.
That mighty Moomin dollar. The Moomin is very weak in the footsie charts. Yeah, I don't know what it's like, but I would like to go to that or send someone. Let's send Mr. Nibs, that little idiot.
I'd like to go.
You're not going, Matthew. You've got an awful lot of things on. We've got to write a film. We've got this TV programme to do. It's a lot of pressure. You can't go dicking about in a Moomin park, living the vida loca, like a whacked-out Ricky Martin, troubling the Moomins. It's a crazy idea. Listen, we'll just go on about the Moomins for a bit more, then we'll put on a record. I was listening to your podcast the other day, says Chris in Bradford, when I heard you query the odd names of the parents in the Moomins. They were called Papa and Mama Moomin, and thought it would be odd to name their son Moomin as well. This reminded me of a similar situation in the Beano. In the letters page of one particular issue, a reader had written with a query about Dennis the Menace, namely, what was the real name of Dennis's dad? The editor's reply to it was Dennis's real name was indeed Dennis's dad. He'd been given this name at birth and coincidentally fell in love with someone called Dennis's mum when he was older. And when they had a baby together, thought it only makes sense to call their son Dennis in this situation. Yeah, because once you're called Dennis, I mean,
What a
there's no
sarcastic
query.
editor.
If you're editor of the Beano, don't use as your main mode of communication sarcasm.
Children keep writing me letters. They're not taking me seriously.
I'm getting a bit sick of all these inquiries about me and the minx and how much of a minx she really is. Why don't you all just take a great big chill pill and F off? And there will be no more Dennis the Menace and Nasher badges with the furry edge to the Nasher
I bet
badge.
you were in the club, weren't
Yeah,
you?
I was, mate.
Oh,
What do you mean? What's wrong with being in the Dennis the Menace?
I want to be in the Beano club.
Mother, I understand there's a Beano club. I want to be the president of it. I don't want normal membership, I want life membership. I'd like to have Roger the Dodger killed. I don't like his...
What did you get? A badge?
You get a badge, you get a Dennis badge, you get a Nasher badge, you get a little sort of wallet-y thing. It's pretty good. You get some secrets so you can say to other Dennis the Menace members.
Really?
Yeah, you can go up to another Dennis the... You never do that because you're a child. You can't be bothered to get involved in some Masonic-style
You don't kill the
ritualistic
dream,
cult.
yeah?
I'm not killing the dream. I don't know what kind of life kids out there are living in the moment, but I
What,
don't
so
think
you
they're
get a little
bothered.
envelope of secrets?
You get a little envelope of secrets, and to tell you the truth, I've blamed that for my drug addiction in later life. I got really into little envelopes of magic. It was the only way I thought I could cope. But hold on, let's just learn a bit more about this. Actually, well, this is a stupid way to name a child, but since I went to school with a lad called, this and this. At my school, Grace School in Essex, there was like a lad called Rio Dave, right? He was a couple of years older than me, Rio Dave. Their surname of the Dave family was, of course, Dave. And like, they called the son Rio Dave! And that was before there was Rio Ferdinand, you know, we didn't know about him, so that's a really good name, Rio Dave.
I bet it came from the song.
What, you think, what, like,
Duran
her
Duran.
name is Rio? Possibly, I'd like to listen to that.
Then they had a boy and went,
Yeah.
his name is Rio.
Your name is Rio, and we love you, you're our son. Right, then the next child, right, who was in my year, they called David, right? So their surname was Dave, and David Dave was always just called Dave Dave. What a
That is unbelievable.
This is a ridiculous drop-off to call one child Rio. Hey, Rio, da 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 da. Next son, Dave. Rio, it's like that. There should be Edgar, Simon, you know, or Pete. There's all sorts of other names before you immediately just go Dave. Like, that's their own name that they've already got. I mean, I'm not
Did he
attacking them, they're real
begrudge the
people.
name?
No, he made it work, actually, Dave did. He was a chirpy kid, he was good at football, he was an attractive lad. I think people, like, you know, just liked him being called Dave.
You wouldn't know if someone called you Dave, you wouldn't know if they were calling you like, oi, Brand.
That's good, actually, isn't it? Because if he ever goes in the army, and, like, you know, they go, Dave! Hey, what's going on? You know,
Hey, using my first name.
hey, I'm really fitting in with you guys. How about a kiss and a cuddle? Certainly not. This is the
That would
army.
annoy the sergeant. He'd have to go, second name, Dave.
Yeah, Dave. He'd have to try and do it with inflection, like it was a tonal language like Vietnamese. He'd have to try and make it sound like a Dave! And I mean
Yeah.
that in the surname sense, not matey, lovable Dave. Yeah, so put everyone in a very tricky position. But let's just get to the bottom of this Moomin situation. If we put this information, remember, about Dennis's mum and dad, in the context of the Moomin story, then we can conclude that this once-in-a-lifetime coincidence has happened now twice. But I think it's far more likely that the Moomins have been stealing their ideas from the Beano. Oh, don't be so cynical. I think this deserves further investigation, just in case there are long-lost Moomin episodes where Moomins put whoopee cushions under teachers' chairs or beat up Softy Walter. That was out of order how they treated Softy Walter,
Yeah, 'cause
thinking
of
about
bullying
it.
now. You're not allowed to do
You
that.
can't just have poor Softy Walter, who one imagines was just like a little gay lad, and like, and they give him all
Another
sorts of...
stereotype.
Ow, look at him, he wore a bow tie when he was 7. What's he going to do? He's like a grab and be a lumberjack or an assassin.
Stephen Fry probably. Oh yeah.
You're right! Gutted! Stephen Fry is gay! Hoisted by your own petard or fatard or shkadard or whatever that thing is. That's what
Right
you've
then,
just been.
Giles Brandreth.
Charles Brandreth's gay, is he? I don't know. Let's not start going around saying people are gay. Here you are now, Giles. Get used to it. Get down to gay pride. We're sending you a teenage boy called Ben. He's coming right over. So, hey, why don't we listen to Take On Me by Ah-ha-ha-ha. But before we do that, let's tell you this idiotic fact. Matt used to think, you know that Ah-ha song, Sun Always Shines on TV? Trust me, la la la, sun always shine on TV. Matt used to think that instead of that the TV was a utopian world where the sun is perpetually shining in an eternal summer, Matt thought that was a song about when you're trying to watch the telly in summer and the sun's coming through the curtains and you can't see the telly properly. Like they're singing a song about, oh, the sun's always shine on my telly. Pull the curtains, turn it to face the other way.
I don't know why I thought it, but it was because I hadn't really addressed what that song was about and why you'd write a song about.
Focus. That's the advice I'll give you. Focus on what things are about. Address things instead of going through life thinking that that's what that song was
I'd
about.
like to see the lyrics to that song and actually.
Well, we'll
I
get
might
them.
be right.
Get the lyrics. Let's work it out. Also, though, Matt, your form is not good, seeing as how you think that that Sting song is "I'm an alien, I'm a little alien, I'm an Englishman in New York."
I thought that as a child.
No, you thought it very recently.
You slept with a Moomin.
I barely touched that Moomin. Right, okay, let's listen to Ah-ha. Ah-rah! It's brave of them to call themselves Aha because it takes quite a lot of focus to say that properly.
Aha.
Aha. Hey, we're in Aha.
Where were they from? Norway?
Norway, yeah. Ah! You could say it in different ways. Ah! Aha!
Eureka!
Aha! I see you liars. Get out of that comic book this instant and keep your hands away from my nightie. Right, we've got something happening now that is going to blow your bloody brains. Matthew, to play that tune, because it'll be a cue to everyone what's going to happen. Instead of leafing through the paper,
I said to you,
I'm pervert.
you find something funny in the paper. I'll do that. And then I said, do you want a rainbow tune? No, we'll do it in a minute.
Go on in, do that. You've spoiled the surprise of what it is. I just see the news lady, Andrea, go past, who does the news.
Well, she's just seen you yelling at me and
Hello,
pointing.
Andrea, love you, love you.
Don't
She
pretend
waved
to be
us.
nice now.
I'm not pretending to be nice. I'm genuinely, actually, a bit like Jesus. Come on, let's put on the big surprise tune. Right, okay, well, Matt's undermined it by saying it's rainbow. Where's the lyrics? Rainbow. That never happened when we were kids.
Above the streets and houses, rainbow flying high.
I remember that rainbow in the background.
Everyone can see it smiling over the sky.
This is weird. This is unusual. It wasn't like that when we were kids. What's going on? They revamped it. Charlie the Fox from Radio Times says it's been revamped. That's nice. I like that pipe.
All along the streams and rivers shining.
All along the streams and rivers. There's a whole new world. I didn't know about that bit.
As the morning breaks.
The morning breaks. What's this? Paint the whole world with a rainbow, man. And with it being gay pride and that. What a wicked
Rainbow.
thing. Paint it with a rainbow. So, we've got Zippy on the phone. Well, hello, my name's Ross. Zippy, have you been drinking?
Yes, I use well, yes.
You do George and all. Look at that.
Of course I use well. I'm always with you, I can't get him away.
This is weird. Have you gone mad and do that? You could have conversations between them. Hey, actual man behind Zippy and George, let's contact.
Yes, hello.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
Even that voice, you suave,
You're a Dalek.
sophisticated sex object. What's your real name, please, sir?
My name is Roy Skelton.
Oh, Roy, hello. What a fine name.
Pardon?
I said it's a fine name, Roy. You've got a
Of
certain
course it's a
dignity and
fine name.
panache.
It's the finest there is, lady.
You're on crackers. Hey, Roy, so go on, you do, like, some of the famous voices that come out of your brain and mouth are Zippy, George, and Daleks.
Yes, indeed, and Cybermen I did originally, and all sorts of Crotons and God knows what else, yes.
Wow, there's all sorts of things that are in our cultural consciousness that you're responsible for.
Oh, culture, it's a very nice word, culture it is.
It is. Is it made you go mad with power, which is what you sound a bit now? Are you drunk?
I wish I were. I'm here in the south of France enjoying a holiday.
You're in the south of France having a lovely
Yeah.
holiday.
Yeah.
are you ever tempted, with the menagerie of glorious voices in your own mind, tempted to perform a sort of audio-sexual circus where George, Zippy and Daleks all carry on and that and muck about?
Oh, I do occasionally, but not tonight.
No. Has anyone ever gone to you, oh, do Zippy, while, like, you know, in a, say, for example, a sex context, or, like, in a, say, you know, if there was a robbery?
They occasionally try, but they lose.
But, right, you never do it.
No, they lose, they do indeed. I mean, there's all sorts of things going about Zippy, and says, do you have a gay time? I say, yes, I'm always gay. I'm ever so happy. And gay is being very happy, being gay. You know, you go through it.
And it means homosexual as well in the modern lexicon, and as well it jolly well should on such a lovely gay pride type day. Now, what can we have you say, please? We've got, like, someone wanted you to say quail's eggs as Zippy.
Say what?
Quail's eggs, you know, like quail, little bird, posh eggs.
You want me to talk like a quail?
I don't want you to talk like a quail. I do not. I mean, oh, well, actually, yeah, do it. Yeah, go on.
No, I'll talk like Zippy like a quail. I'm going to do eggs and I'll do anything Zippy will, yes, yeah.
Do you drink much, Ray?
No.
Good, because if say you went all mad and started doing that, shouting like that in the street, it'd be berserk. I'd really like it.
Well, of course, I do occasionally, just to don't make people mad.
So, here are some of the things we want you to do, if you don't mind doing them,
quickly,
please.
yeah.
Could you say, I'd rather have a bowl of Cocoa Pops in Zippy's voice?
I'd rather have a what?
Bowl of Cocoa Pops is a popular breakfast cereal.
I'd rather have a Cocoa Pops in I don't know what I'd like it in, but I quite like it.
I like Zippy. He had an anarchic attitude, didn't he? He seemed like naughty. Did you?
I'm never naughty, though.
Zippy. Oh, this is a chance to talk to Zippy.
Talk to me, mate, Zippy.
Zippy, you're really naughty! Why are you so naughty all the time?
Now, if you're very naughty, I'm going to bed with it.
Zippy, do you like boys or girls, sex-wise?
But I like girls a lot. I like boys a lot as well, yeah.
Do you?
And I like dogs.
You mucky little devil. Zippy, could you describe your genitals to us? Is it a zip?
No, I couldn't listen. I've got to go now, so bye.
Zippy!
Bye.
George! Hello, George! We drove off. We were more childish than Zippy.
Zippy hung up on us.
We've been hung up on by Zippy. We should. I think like tracing back over the call. I reckon it might have been the bit where I said, "Describe your genitals."
No.
No, don't beat myself up. It's
don't
probably
beat yourself up.
because we're saying about South.
Zippy's obviously matured and, you know.
Yeah, he wants to get beyond that whole zip genital thing. Hey, I wanted him to do stuff as a Dalek as well, though.
Let's
You
get
can
him back.
hear, actually thinking about it, you can hear the Dalek and Zippy. You can hear it, can't you? I am a Dalek.
I know what.
I am Zippy.
Get him back, right, and say
I
that...
was like he's going to come back after
No,
that.
but
man.
yeah, just go, oh, one of our researchers spoke to you,
Yeah.
that was a pre-interview.
That was a pre-interview.
Before
That
you
was
got
not
out, but
real
he
Russell.
was very
Good
immature.
idea. So
now,
that
Russell
research
Brand,
has
and
now
then you
been
go, oh,
sacked.
hello, you're live on the... Yeah.
I said, hello there, I'm sorry about that absolute goon you had to deal with just then. I assure you he's been fired. He was an absolute pig, wasn't he?
Can we get Zippy back?
Do you reckon that's really going to happen? He's just never going to do anything on the radio again. We've just, what then what? Then what do we do? Just do the same thing.
Maybe it's just Zippy being anarchic and he's probably trying to ring back
Yeah,
now.
he's probably going, sorry about that, that was just Zippy. He's absolutely out of his
I was
mind.
channeling Zippy.
Yeah, perhaps he's a medium. Perhaps he's not even an actor. Just those things are in the ether.
Do you think he invented the
communicates
character of Zippy and just went, oh, I'm going to do it like this, actually?
Yeah, it's really, I don't know, I reckon they had the puppet first, because look, we've got this puppet, we want it to be naughty sort of a voice, what do you want to do? And I reckon at first, I reckon he sort of went, oh hello, oh Bungle, you absolute arse, and stuff like that. And then he went, no, that's not going
I'd
to
do
work.
it as Jane Horrocks from that film.
What, like, yeah, oh, those disgusting things.
What's that film called?
Get away! Life is Sweet, Mike Leigh film,
Brilliant.
Jane Horrocks in that, yeah, she's well brilliant, isn't she?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, what should we, Matthew, should we listen to a
Will
record
you
or
lost?
something?
He won't come back.
He didn't
because
say
of no-
quail's eggs. He didn't say
He did
my
say-
bookie
he sort of
book.
tried.
He tried quite. Oh, quail's eggs. He went in as if his personality a bit, didn't he? He went like. I liked
Oh,
that
we
guy.
got
Do you don't
hung
think
up
we've
on.
upset him? Do you?
No.
Nah, he's all right,
He's in
isn't he?
south of France.
He's in the south of France. He's having a hell of a time out there.
But I know that was because Zippy hasn't got genitals and he knew the shame of that.
Yeah, the shame
And
of being.
suddenly put into the glare, the spotlight.
Matthew, I don't think so. I've put if he had real angry, rancid genitals, and he just didn't want to
Zippy,
describe them.
If he did have them, they would just look like,
Plain,
you know,
like a little
like a
felt
Sesame
one.
Street thing's finger.
What about what? In a
Felty.
state of a... Oh, okay, let's leave here.
What about
No.
Daleks, though?
Daleks, they don't need genitals. They're just made by a man, aren't
No,
they?
they've got a green thing inside, which is the actual
Well, they can procreate.
organic creature.
There's an organic creature within
That's
it.
just the machine they built
I'll
around
tell you
them.
what, Matthew, I thought I wasted my life being a drug addict, so then I listened to a little statistic like that. This is from John Eleanor. He goes, "Hello, Russ. Gary Neville's dad is called Neville. Have that."
No way.
Well, there it is. Why would he
People
lie?
do it?
Why do it? I mean, I suppose to make it sort of, it's... I mean, you could have been called Morgan, couldn't you? Gee, your surname's confusing, isn't it? Sort of like, well, it's confusing to Anglo-Saxon-speaking people. What is it, your surname? Zakwiyama. That could work either way, as a Christian
cool.
or a surname. Brand.
You could call your child Brandy Brand.
Brandy Brand. No, it sounds too much like she's in porn. And what about then? They'll be just bad.
Or
What
a
if I-
boy. Why not call a boy Brandy?
Brandy Brand. Well, he might still get in a porn. Brandy! You randy little bugger! What the hell are you doing in that video? I'm expressing myself! Well, don't! Okay, yeah, alright, I'll do it. Captain Russell and Matt, can you ask David to create a new character based upon the magic combination of yourself, Matt, and Mr. G? What characteristic of each would he incorporate? Can't wait to see you in Stevenage, Russell. Please do a meet and greet. Please, please. Much love, Aisha.
Is that what you
Aisha,
call
Philippa.
that? Debacle after your stage.
How
shows?
dare you.
Meet and greet.
Okay, we're going to do a meet and greet after the show.
Is that meet as in M-E-A-T?
You dirty boy. Meet and greet and impregnate. Hi, Russell, Matt and G. Last week's vagina extravaganza was all well and good, but I couldn't help thinking that songs out of vaginas would be a little bit sweeter if sung in the style of When I'm 64. Try and get Walliams to do the voice of the Cocoa Monkey. I'm a great supporter of the revolution and Matt's tunnel vision. Pete from Aberdeen, thank you. Hella and Matthew, could you please ask Zippy if it's true that the cast of Rainbow used to have cocaine parties in costumes after they'd finished filming? Love listening to you. Do you know what, Helena and Matthew? I think now that he's hung up in us because we were asking about his Zippy
Because we got
Goolies.
too close to the truth.
We were getting too close to the truth. You can't handle the truth. You need men
There is
with
some-
guns and zip genitals to protect you.
There is a famous bit of footage which you can see on YouTube of the Rainbow cast swearing and mucking about and being rude.
Oh, I'd love to see it. Can I just see
Everyone's seen it. You must
Everyone's
have seen
it.
that.
Of course I ain't. I've been busy and I've been at home just tidying up, just trying to keep my nose clean, mate.
Rattling around in your massive house.
Rattling around in my tower, all lonely, confused and baffled by what the future holds. What do you want to listen to now?
Public Image, Limited.
What was that? What John Lydon done?
Yeah.
All right then.
Oh, we got the news actually.
Okay, guys, you're probably wondering what the hell's going on our planet, and you're right to wonder. Later on, Walliams is going to turn up here. Also, Noel Gallagher. Actually, we've got a whole minute before the news starts, Matthew. We've got ages before
Fill
the
it with
news.
magic.
I will fill it with magic.
Fill it with an apology to Zippy.
All right, I apologise to him. He was a lovely bloke, and I didn't mean to upset him. This alley goes, can you ask Zippy why they wore pyjamas at night but were naked in the daytime? All these interesting questions.
Very true.
Why did Bungle walk around nude in the day? Another person
That's
wants to know
because
that.
at night they're in close proximity in the bed.
Yeah, to each other, and that is when the demons start to come. Nighttime, Bungle starts to feel a little bit randy. Zippy starts to get certain urges, so it's best to put the little Jim Jams on to gag up their mouths and dose them up all nice with bromide to stop the Rainbow House turning into a rampaging swamp of sexual viruses. Matthew, what's the
What are
matter?
you going on about?
I'll tell you what I'm going to talk about. It's that bloody shark debacle. Shark debacle. It's ridiculous. There ain't no shark. If there is, it's a lovely, friendly basking shark. Stop whooping up a frenzy. There are sharks on planet Earth.
Yeah, it's
Too
ridiculous,
much
isn't it?
hoopla. What
And
a
that was
lot of
actually,
hoopla.
isn't it just like there might be a shark? We've
There ain't
sort
one.
of
It's a
seen
basking shark, and then they keep like...
You knowing the word basking.
I know
thinking.
basking.
It's a basking shark.
It's that guy's just having a bask. Why don't you let him bask in peace, for Christ's
Where did
sake?
you hear that from? A cab driver? Sure, it's only a basking shark.
I've known about basking sharks for ages, mate. Basking, hammerhead, tiger shark,
That's quite a
lilliput
weird,
shark, ninja shark, scooba-dooba-doo, bop sharks. I
It's
know
quite a
lot
weird
about-
verb, isn't it?
What
For
is
a shark.
basking?
Basking.
What the hell is that shark doing? He seems to be basking.
King of the ocean, you know.
Hey, I ain't got a rush for nobody. I'm just gonna have a bask. Okay, it's time to find out what's going on this stinking planet that we've all ruined. On 88 to 91 FM, this is Radio 2 for the BBC News.
And here's the news now at 10 o'clock. This is Andrea Simmons.
Online, on digital, and on 88 to 91 FM. BBC Radio 2. Russell Brand.
I could be right.
Public image rise. Before that, you listened to some news. This is the Russell Brand Show on Radio 2. We're live from London tonight. Keep sending us your text 88291 or phone us on 0500 288 291. Hey Nick, let's talk to someone. Let's just talk. The next person that rings, stick them on the radio, whoever they are. Just put them right through. Next person that rings, 0500 288 291. You could be on the radio in seconds. The next person that rings, we will be talking to live on Radio 2, whoever they are. I particularly recommend you call if you're a real loose cannon, if you're a real wild card, the kind of person that might ring up and say something right irresponsible. So look, oh, someone's already rung. We look forward, right, so we'll talk to that person in a second. Oh, this is from Philip Proudfoot. I already like Proudfoot as a surname. I'm Philip Proudfoot, and I'll do whatever I like. What have you got against it?
Because it's singular, it makes you think there's one little club
Shrivelled foot.
One withered foot.
This is my proud foot. What about me? Shut up.
Let's put forward.
I'm Philip Proudfoot. I'm strutting through the glen. I'm Philip's other foot. I'm in the sock again. I'm Philip Proudfoot.
In a
I
Veruca
put
sock.
my boot up high. I'm in a Veruca sock. I often wonder why. I'm so powerful. I smell of a mighty onion. I'm so weak, covered in corns and bunions. You must have known when I said onion that I was lining up a little rhyme for the word bunion. Mr. G, the poet there, he knew I was coming. Philip Proudfoot, who we've just dedicated a lovely ode to. Where's our caller? I can't believe that no one telephoned as a result of that cleared out. Oh, there comes Nick. He's got something. Oh, he's writing down frantically on his little handsome hand. Kirsten in Bournemouth is on the phone. Hello, Kirsten.
Hello, Russell.
Are you all right, dear?
I'm fine, thank you.
What the hell do you want?
I have a revolution question.
Okay, let's have a revolution question. Regular listeners to our show and podcast will know that we plan to overthrow the government of the United Kingdom incrementally at first, just by showing off, but then by developing real policies. It's all about egalitarianism, the abolition of conventional morality
Get on with it.
and political thought. I'm just getting people up to speed on our glorious revolution. It'll be sort of like a spiritual Marxism. I know Marxism didn't have spirituality and was atheistic. That's why I mentioned it. Now, go on. What's your question, dear?
Well, my question is this, Russell. See, I was having lunch with a friend today, and
You
we
disgust
I did.
me.
I know.
Sat
it's fine.
there, scoffing your lunch. Where were
No,
you?
we were having coffee. It wasn't really lunch.
Right, because
Anyway,
if you ate that with a
lies.
spoon, it would be bonkers. You'd be out of control. You'd be condemned.
Don't use a spoon at
Someone would
lunch,
make you live in a
Russell.
skip. Hey, what do you want to do?
That's-
Live in a
okay.
skip.
So my revolution question is this.
Go on.
We've decided that we're going to take the female side of the revolution off your hands. We're going to
Oh.
help you, and you'll like this, I think.
Go on. Remember you're
Okay.
live on Radio 2.
I know.
Okay.
My thing is that I think that we should
Go on, go
have
with it. Drag it on
a
board.
big-breasted revolution. Women with large chests.
Yes.
Yes. See, I thought you might like this.
How dare you
women
judge
with...
me?
Correctly.
On the radio.
Correctly, yeah. I think that
Yeah,
a
women
lot
with large
of women,
breasts.
Women with large breasts don't like having large breasts.
Why
Men
not?
like women to have large breasts, but women don't like having them.
They're fools.
That is why I wear a
know.
bra.
Skinny women always want breasts, right?
Right, yeah.
So they're going out and they're starving themselves to get skinny, but then they're going and getting fake breasts. And
Stop
I don't
judging
really
everyone.
understand that. I'm not judging.
What?
I'm generalising.
I don't know, just
Generalising.
yeah, stop generalising everyone. Yeah, go on,
So-
so how you open the revolution? It sounds to
Well-
me like a show called Knocker Swap, late night on Discovery Channel. Not Discovery, they wouldn't buy it. They've got
I
a
don't
lot of
think
tunnel
Discovery would
programmes.
buy
Noble
into that
men.
now, but
And
probably
women.
Channel Forward.
Mm.
So
All right,
what
so
we've
you're-
decided is that we need to kind of revolutionise this thinking, right?
Go
and
on,
we need to
hurry
get
on with
women
it.
to
Bloody
think
hell!
about...
You
No,
communicate too slowly. I'd shoot you on day one of the revolution for just being too meandering conversationally. Where's your
I
jazz?
can't
Where's
believe
your
you just said that
hullabaloo?
I meander in conversation. That's brilliant.
Yeah, our conversations sparkle and fizz. We just made up songs about a man called Proudfoot. You've babbled on about knockers for ages. I've never been so bored while thinking about big boobs in my entire life. Most of the time, I turn into a frenzied animal. Now I'm thinking of having a nap.
This is aversion therapy, actually. That's what she's doing.
Have you
Well,
lined this
yeah,
up?
Good point, Matt.
Yes.
Matthew, you've got a
so-
sponge thing coming out under your headphone that looks like that bra
dare
you
you
took
look
to
at that.
wearing. I hope it's on the webcam. Look at the webcam, Matt's got a sponge thing coming out of his head.
Radio
Right.
Times not allowed to use photos of me with a sponge thing hanging out.
Matthew, get a picture of him. He looks a right mug, Radio Times photographer. Right, go on. You can finally, Matthew, looking banging against the microphone. Look, you've got 10 seconds to give us your idea. I don't like to get Simon Cowell about it, but what the hell are you on about?
Well, I think that we should give women more esteem about their breasts. I think you're the man to take that forward. I think that women should.
All of
Yeah, but
you,
are,
whatever
you're
your
taking
breasts
it-
are like, they're bloody brilliant. I'll give you that. Large or small, I'm right behind you, girls, cupping them. That's me. I think your breasts are brilliant. And even, yeah, blokes who ain't got breasts, anyone, regardless of breasts, how many of them you've got, you could be a sow in a meadow with 8 knockers up here. I still think you're delicious. And if you look closely at that final piglet, it's me! Me, dressed up as Babe, pig in the city. So, listen, thank you very much. I will help people feel better about their knockers. Thank you very much for your call. Excuse me, Kirsten.
Yeah.
I suppose you've got big boobs yourself, have you?
Yes, I have.
Good work there. Nice talking to you, dear. You take care. There goes old Kirsten with her big boobs.
I didn't understand her point.
I didn't understand. I didn't understand either of her points. Smashing pair, though. What? Hey, Matt, what do you want me to do? I've got to make a joke, ain't I? Guy's got to make a living. I just want a couple of extra potatoes. What about the haunted theatre of Sid James? Let's learn a bit more
That's
about that.
odd.
I was up in Sunderland. I've
You
done a
performed
gig.
there. Obviously,
I did.
Sid James' ghost didn't think you were
Trouble me.
worthy.
Yeah, because it's why didn't Sid James go? Right, because there's this theatre up in Sunderland, everyone, right, where Sid James died on stage. The brilliant Sidney James of Carry On and Hancock fame. He died on stage performing at this theatre in Sunderland. Find the article, Matthew. And he died. Look at Matt, all floundering and baffled
it
by
in
the
a tabloid
simplest of
or
requests.
a broadsheet?
I think it's in a tabloid, probably right-wing leaning tabloid, e.g. Express Mail. I don't know. Sid James died on this stage, a la Tommy Cooper, and apparently his ghost haunts this theatre in Sunderland. I'd done a gig there. He never turned up to see me, Sid James's ghost. Les Dawson, the brilliant comedian, said that he saw something so terrifying at that Sunderland theatre that he never wanted to perform there again. When I was performing there, they goes, "Oh, Sid James's ghost's here." They told me that after. No, they didn't even tell me the ghost. They just said Sid James died here. And I thought, wow, that's amazing. What honour to perform here. Now I find out his ghost was there, and you're right. Why didn't Sid James's ghost deem me fit enough to haunt me one?
Or even Les Dawson's ghost.
Neither of their ghosts bothered to show up, you know, and it makes me a
They
little
probably
bit...
did. You're so consumed in yourself.
Look at my hair! Hey, Russell! Oh, what's going on? Are my trousers kindly tight enough? Here we are, there's the article. What did it say, Matthew? Matt does an item. Matt is doing an item.
The cultural review's coming back. Like
Good luck getting that cultural review on this radio show. A lot of people said it is the worst item in radio since Oswald Mosley's Hate Hour was abolished.
what do you want to know?
Just anything about that.
gist.
Yeah, give us a gist.
Well, we've pretty much covered it.
We've done the
Sid
gist.
James' ghost appears sometimes at the Empire
In Sunderland.
in Sunderland.
I'd love to see Sid
Les,
James's ghost.
Les Dawson was shaken by what he saw. The Beatles have performed there twice. Doesn't say they've seen him.
Because a Sid James ghost, a regular ghost, will just go, ooh. A Sid James ghost go, like that. You think, ooh, you saucy little
Look at this.
ghost.
Who books you into that theatre?
I can't remember. What, I feel a little McIntyre.
Not without
stand-up.
reason. The theatre was known in the profession as a comic graveyard.
Oh no! What are they booking me into a comic graveyard for? Someone's trying to tell me something.
Reg Varney, star of On the Buses, described it as second
I'll
only
get you, butler.
to Glasgow in terms of audience difficulty. Did you find it difficult?
No, it was brilliant. I had a really great time there. People of Sunderland were a proper good laugh. Smashing looking folk. I had a lovely time there. It was ace.
I went Sid James was behind you, pulling faces.
These guys are loving me. I'm brilliant. Sid James is just marching about in Hancock. Hello, Russell, Matt, and G. It just occurred to me that your impression of Aha's Morton Harkett is much like your impression of James Blunt, says Nicole Higgins. Both are very good, I must say. Yours faithfully. Well done.
Did you do an impression of...
James Blunt is... Isn't it? Just that horn, and Morgan Harkett. And then Morgan Harkett. Take on me, sing like Death Take. Well, you know.
Morgan Harkett doesn't sing like that. We can do that.
Does he? Doesn't he?
He's got a terrific range.
Does he? I like him. I've always liked him.
It goes like that.
Anyway, that person loves the show. He does go, ooh, ooh. Yeah, you're right. Did you ever notice, says Rebecca, that Jane of Rod, Jane and Freddie's appearance changed during the course of Rainbow? Did she have a nose job? She once told my mum she was attractive, but her nose was too big. She went on to offer the use of her surgeon. Jane out of Rod, Jane and Freddie going around peddling snout operations.
That's odd, isn't it? Because Jane would have been watching back the show, because it probably wouldn't have had tapes of it then.
Yeah.
Watching, oh God, my nose looks big in this. Instead of thinking, what the hell am I doing?
With
men in dungarees.
Bear and all these lunatic animals.
Oh God, I'm never going to pull from this.
Oh crikey, I can't. No, this isn't going to get me any work. Not with that conk. Right, I'm going straight under the knife. I'll take it off myself with a pair of scissors. Yeah, that is a sort of strange way of reacting. Who would win in a fight, Zippy or Moomin? Zippy, definitely. The Moomins were tranquil creatures.
Moomins had legs.
This is from Monty. What? So the Moomins could do rope-a-dope tactics a la young Muhammad Ali.
Moomins would freak Zippy out.
Oh, hello. Would they? I think so. Oh, no, I can't cope with this. Do you think so?
Zippy just, you know, he ran away from us pretty quickly, didn't he?
That's true. We freaked him out. How's he going to cope with a Moomin? Particularly, like, the sexualised whole family of the Moomins, the way they carried on. It's ridiculous. Would they be attracted to each other? In which case, we might end up with Zoomins or Mippies. I've already got both of those things, and let me tell you, they're great fun. This is a letter. It come from someone called Justin Pursley. I just heard you talking about Matt not understanding the song that Sting sung, and it made me remember something my dad said in youth. I just bought Generation Terrorist by the Manics. I was 16 and played it to death. Anyway, one night he asked me what I was listening to, and I told him it was the Manics Street Preachers. Anyway, he said, a strange name for a band, but I suppose they are a bit slimy. It took me about a week to figure out what he meant. He thought they were called Managed to Eat Peaches. Well, that doesn't sound anything like it.
Nothing to do with slime.
Well, I suppose if you eat a peach, you know, in a lackadaisical or careless fashion, you might get covered in some sort of peach juice, couldn't you? It could happen. Hey, it must be ages since I've heard a Morrissey track, and it is. Put on Go by Daniel Johnston, Matt.
Yes.
Cheer us right
now?
up.
Is that an order?
Yeah, shall we? I mean, we've been talking for ages.
Is
Give
this
us a
you
break.
in the Star?
What? No, I don't think so. Why? What
Hush,
is it?
hush. This British bloke has a reputation for being a bit of a ladies' man, but in fact he likes the other sex just as much. And who would have thought the fit fella has a string of blokes he regularly calls up for dirty late-night chats in several different places around the world?
Nah, I don't do that.
Dirty late-night chats?
I do dirty late-night chat, yeah. Sometimes late night I do dirty chat. I just get home, I do a little dirty chat.
Why have they got to be in several different places around the world if it's on a phone?
Yeah, it could be anywhere. I suppose that's the beauty of the modern age, Matthew. You can be dirty to anybody. Right, come on, let's listen to Daniel Johnston. He'll kick our heads in with his brilliance.
That's just the way it should be. To understand.
That's Moby doing that. That was a mistake. Sorry, we don't want to listen to that. I meant Daniel Johnston, normal Daniel Johnston. Here, we're just going to go and find it now. Here, isn't it? Yeah, that thing, that hush hush thing. Do you reckon it might be our secret next guest, David Walliams, phoning up people
Our
around the world?
secret next guest, David Walliams.
Our secret? No, the secret phone calls might be him. He's not a secret. He's as bold as brass, that boy.
You're always bringing his sexuality into discussion, aren't you?
Yeah, I am, actually. I do bring it in. This is from Francis. I'm very happy with my large breasts, she says. It's absolute piffle that we all want smaller ones. File this number, if you would, Nick, under large breasts. Happy with. This is Andy. I was a member of the Dennis Menace fan club back in the 70s, and I remember one of the secret greetings you referred to was Ding Dong. Acronyms which stand for Dennis is never good and Dennis owns Naughty Nasher. How sad am I? Ah, isn't that lovely? And acronyms, what a way to communicate. Please say hello to my wife, Emma, and tell her to stop shouting out your name when we make love. It's most off-putting. Well, I enjoy it when she does it. Your show is adequate. Thank you, says Andy. What do you want, Matthew?
Pass me that CD so I can see what number it is.
I'll tell you. Right, Go on there. My life. Go. I can't even see on this one. It's the wrong one. Get Nick to tell you, he's I'm doing a bloody radio show. Look at this, absolute shambles. The Radio Times are here, witnessing this.
It's your fault.
Scampering around like a
We
nitwit.
demanded that song. then
I
it's the
don't
wrong
know
one.
what happened. All I'm saying is it looks very bad. There's going to be a photograph of us all looking perfect Wallies. This is from Kat. Our funding will be quite rightly rebuked. Kat says, ha ha, I work with a man called Michael Michaels. We call him M&M for short. Maybe names like that could be good for the revolution. How could it? Well, we'll try.
No, it's quite good.
Hello, Russell and Matt. You talk about the Moomins, but what about little Mai? She gave me nightmares and was enigmatic and terrifying and had upside-down half-moon eyes. I hope you can hear all the chaos and rhubarb in the background. That is the sound of a radio show tumbling to the floor. Oh, and there's an actor called Edward Woodward, says Beth A. That's true, Edward Woodward. Edward Woodward. That's nice. I used to enjoy thinking about that. Equaliser, late at night. In fact, one of my earliest sexual experiences was whilst the Equaliser was on the television and someone performed a sex act.
How grim.
On me while their parents slept upstairs. Oh, remember, I was a child myself at the time, so, you know...
Not a child.
Well, I wasn't a proper child, but I was like, you know, I certainly was
sure you never
nothing
were.
like a man. Does anyone else think that Matt looks like Snufkin from the Moomins, says Mariana? Yep. Hi, Russell, Matt G and Mr. Nips. Miss Snufkin was the ugliest...
The handsome one with
cruel...
long hair.
No, there was a character in the Moomins who no one would talk to, who was an outcast and largely assumed to be a sex offender. Hello, says Alex Armstrong. Great to hear that you're live again. I always listen and completely support the revolution. I've been trying to spread it in the form of a religious cult. I'm also going to create a website dedicated to the wonder that is Octo-pig. Yeah, Octo-pig. Where is Octo-pig? We were going to get that. Last week we learned about a pig being born with 6 legs, 2 willies and 2 anuses. Now, naturally, we were blown away by the possibility of owning this little guy. This is from Beck11. You should be worried for that double anus pig. We had a four-legged chicken in New Zealand. It was called Fawsey Strangely. Unless it's called Fawsey Strangely. Anyway, it had 2 bumholes, and in the end, that's what killed it. It got bunged right up and died. That pig won't have long. If anything shouldn't get bunged up and die, it's a chicken with 2...
You can't have 2 of everything, can you? It's just the exterior part.
Right, well, it's not got 2 bowels,
Got 2
colons,
stomachs.
rectum, etc.
No.
So, but why would it get bunged up? Could just use the other one for, I don't know, keeping a pencil in. Just carry on as normal.
You
Just
could communicate with mankind through it.
you could communicate.
Write
through
letters on
man.
the walls of its sty.
We had Vagina Lady last week. Next week it'll be chicken ass. There's a little chicken. He's singing out his ass. He's finger licking good. Octo-pig. More people wanted to know about Octo-pig. I was listening to Radio 2 yesterday. Your mention of Octo-pig, says Rosemary, reminded me of that 2-headed cow born on a farm somewhere in the world. Anyway, I think Octo-pig and the 2-headed cow should be friends, and they should go out and solve mysteries and stuff like that. Anyway, keep up the radio show. Well, we'll try and get them to solve mysteries, but it's going to be difficult. I mean, I think keeping it alive is going to be a challenge, because from what I understand, its innards are all bunged
Every
up.
time they turned up to interview someone or to look for clues,
Yeah.
everyone would just go, "Oh my God, you've got 2 heads. You're
you've
a
got 2
pig."
bumholes. Or I can't put a pencil in that
Exactly.
one.
They wouldn't get any.
They're
they'd just
getting,
go,
it's not like Columbo. He
Drop
had
it.
enough trouble with 1 glass eye, didn't he? People always wanted to know more. But, like, you know, if you're a pig with 2 bumholes and a cow with
Stop
2
saying
heads...
bumholes.
What do you want me to say? Rectums? Anuses? What is it that you want to hear from me? What would get you going, Grandma? This is from Chris. I listened to a show last night and was captivated, like you, by Octo-pig. I'm right to tell you that I've seen with my own 2 eyes something similar. I once saw a pickled specimen of a pig with extra limbs in the Freak Show Circus at Hull Fair. And if Octo-pig is like the animal I saw, I would suggest that Reece Shearsmith is correct in saying that Octo-pig could be 1.5 pigs. Good point. I once snuck in hospital and saw a load of pickled, well, genitals, limbs, and what I can only describe as fetuses.
So what, in your Victorian dandy-esque life?
In my Victorian dandy-esque life, I snuck right in a hospital. Yeah, it was the Royal Free Hospital. I was a drug addict
I
at the
remember
time.
this, yes.
So I just, me and my mate, I was there actually one day. I was going out with this woman who was a doctor, and she goes, "Here, have a look in this room." It was
What was she going out with you?
Well, I was an
As a
entertainer.
case study.
She liked the
experimented
cut
on
of
you.
my jib. Every day she gave me this magical
I don't
smarting.
think she was going out with you. I think did she used to come with a clipboard and go,
Yes, that's right.
Mr. Brand,
Yes, it really
get
turned
down
me on.
off there.
Wee into this jar, into the jar, put it back, stop trying to write on me with it. She was very nice to me. I went out with her for a while, and I lived with her in her house, but then I behaved very badly.
Oh, my God.
I moved into her house. I was living above a pub, then I met her. I thought, I'll live in her house. I went and lived in her house, but then I just went mad. You know how I was as a younger man. I was crazy.
She must have worked long hours.
She did work long hours. She had to make up all
What
the
did you
drugs
do?
I had.
Get on the
Well,
furniture?
we did
All
everything.
sorts.
She went. I got up on the furniture, behind the furniture, rearranged all the cushions when
Tipped
she
your
was
food
out.
bowl over.
Malted after right little
Sprayed.
She gave me some money to go and stay in Fiji with her. She goes, look, I'm off to Fiji, right? Come and join me. Here's £2,000. Join me in a couple of weeks when you finish up being at drama school. Goes, all right. And I just took that £2,000, spent it right on drugs. Right, all nice and tight up on the old drugs, and then didn't have no money to
What a
go
nasty
anywhere.
little character.
Just blew it all on the druggy wugs. Idiot, really, I was, because apparently Fiji's a terrific place to spend a bit of time. So, Octo-pig. If we could get our hands on Octo-pigs, perhaps we could test the theory of whether or not it's 1.5 person. Well, I don't know if we can do that, but we shall certainly endeavour to. David Walliams will be here shortly, so will Noel Gallagher. Are you banging that CD on now, then?
No, because you have made a dreadful error.
Yeah?
And that one is the right version that we played. It's produced by Daniel Johnston. It's performed by the Flaming Lips.
Well, nonetheless, where's the one, what's Daniel Johnston singing that song where I've got at home at my house? I listen to it quite often.
Well, we haven't got it.
We ain't got it, we've got everything.
You are making a scene. Can we just play The Clash, please?
Morrissey!
We'll sort it out in that.
Morrissey!
Oh, God.
Well, it's not hard, really, is it? He's on every week. But how about a nice little bit of Morrissey singing a little, Alsatian Cousin, I think it's off Viva Hate. Yeah, let's listen to that. For heaven's sake. What, Matthew? What do you think? Listen to Train in
No,
Vain
when you
while we're
ask us,
waiting?
yeah, because then we can
All right,
sort
go on
it
then.
out. You
Right.
don't understand, do you?
No, I don't know. I don't know what's going on. I'm just trying my hardest
When
to do a
you
radio
say
show.
songs that people have to run around finding it and then
No,
put it
it's
into a machine.
extraordinary. I see them doing it.
And often the song names you use don't exist. I'd like to hear Daniel Johnston doing a Morrissey song on a trumpet with me singing it.
Could I sing this one? I'd like the Beatles. I'd like those guys to get back together, but I want them to do voices like Lord Charles, the ventriloquist. Oh, you silly ass strawberry fields. I'd like that to happen now. Is it not available? Are you banging it on now then? What's this? Morrissey, Alsatian Cousin? Yeah. Oh, yeah, this is good. Oh, no, this is, yeah. Well, I'd like to dedicate this to David Walliams, our guest, who's coming on very shortly, and he's got quite a lot to deal with. There's a lot of questions for him to answer, a lot of curiosity about the way he lives his life.
Why are you having your song played? Why don't you write down your little questions?
No way. No
Do it.
way. Write down
on.
some questions.
Yeah.
Okay, let's listen to the song. I'm ready. I'm ready to do anything. Oh, Matthew, what have you done?
I'll
Press the
press
switch.
button.
Look at you lot. You can't run a simple
We're all
radio.
living in fear of you.
Alsatian Cousin Morrissey there. Don't roll your eyes, Matthew. That was dedicated to a very special guest who'll be here in a moment. In fact, I just see him. I was about to dash over and see David Walliams, but as I was dashing, someone went, 30 seconds! I think it was you, Matthew, in something approaching a blind panic. But he will be here in what I can only describe as a short period of time. He was just leafing through a magazine, looking all dapper he was. It was so delightful. So if you've got any questions for David, give us a ring on 0500 288 291, or you can email russell.brand@bbc.co.uk. Also, let's get Noel Gallagher on the phone at the same time as David's here, like a bit later.
They're friends, aren't they?
They're friends. They did an interview together once for Observer. I remember reading it thinking, what a couple of twerps.
And we've got to get David to do his Liam voice.
We were going to get David Walliams to do his Liam voice down the phone at Noel, see what that's like, see what the world makes of it. Also, look, I've got this interesting thing here, look, it's about Noel. Hello, Russell and Co. I'm aware that you receive a fair deal of strange gifts, so I know this won't raise a single eyebrow, says Samiga. It's an old art project responding to something Noel Gallagher said about being bigger than God. Although I'm not religious, I still thought it was a pathetic thing to say and probably just a cry for attention. But your programme has really changed my impression of Noel Gallagher. That's right, we've changed the way people view Noel Gallagher. Until very recently, he was just some bloke in a band, but now he's become much beloved character. Now I think he's really clever, continues Samiga, and funny, and I'll leave it up to you what to do with this bit of art. Right, well, what it is it's quite nice, actually. I'm going to keep it. Maybe should we give it to him?
Why are his legs hinged and his arms aren't?
It's a hinged puppet. It's like a paper actual Noel Gallagher face stuck onto a
Put
body.
it up for the webcam.
Webcam, yeah, but you have to hold it there for 6 minutes. Someone can hold it.
I think you're the man for the job.
No way, man. I ain't holding nothing for 6 minutes. So we might give that to Noel Gallagher. He'd probably like something like that. It's just a diminutive little character. It's like actually having him in the room. It's quite convenient. It's a tiny, squat little nitwit. Ever came phone up if you say rude things about him. Do you remember that before when I said something rude?
Yeah.
He just phoned up and go, "What you saying up for?" Got all aggressive about it. Oh no, his legs just fell off. Well, there you go. You can't have everything. So, right, earlier on, Matt, you said that the song "Sun Always Shines" on TV, you thought it was about the reflection of the sun off of a TV screen rather than a utopian world in which it is eternally summer. Here are the lyrics. Touch me, how can it be? Believe me, the sun always shines on TV. Right. Hold me close to your heart. Touch me, give all your love to me. It's clearly about sex.
Still right.
I reached inside myself and found nothing there to ease the pressure of my ever-worrying mind. I wouldn't think you would. It's like reaching up inside yourself, treating yourself as your own puppet. It's bound to cause problems. All my powers waste away. I fear the crazed and lonely looks the mirror sending me these days. Well, don't blame the mirror. Well, like, yeah, I guess he's looking in the mirror doing crazed, lonely looks.
See, I thought the newspaper. I just
Again,
don't
you
get
don't
lyrics.
understand our halves message, do you? Touch me, how can it be? And then he repeats that. Please don't ask me to defend the shameful lowlands of the way I'm drifting gloomily through time. I will ask you to defend them, Morton. I reached inside myself today. He keeps reaching inside himself. That's mainly what it's about. It's more an Hackett.
Self-examination.
Reaching right up inside him. I mean, right, at least he'll never get any kind of testicular cancer.
That's why they were called Aha.
Aha! Ooh! Hello, what's this? Aha! Yet another bloody hemorrhoid! Please don't ask me to defend myself. Touch me, how can it be?
Yeah, so far, I'm right.
It could be about anything, you're quite right. There's no distinction there. It's quite
Seems to be
quite
about
clear.
depression.
Yeah, well, cheer
And one
up.
of the things that's niggling him is the
Really,
sun.
get into that
glinting
guy.
off his telly.
Poor felly. Right, this is from Kimberly in Kent. Dear Russell, Matt and G, can you get Zippy to sing Frankly Mr Shankly by the Smiths? No, we can't, because we've disturbed Zippy so much with our childishness that he slammed the phone down during what was perhaps the most
And also, Russell
insightful
pull it off
interview of
there
his
and go,
career.
"This is a cover!"
I thought to tell you the truth, I thought we was getting to the man behind Zippy, as a matter of
Yeah,
fact, and he didn't
he was
like
gone.
that. So yeah, he's got something very shameful behind that zip. Hello, Russell, Matt and G. I'd love to be stuck on an island with Matt. I'm sure with his knowledge of tunnels, we'd be able to make it back to civilization. Also, who is that in the picture on the background of the webcam? That is that picture of Noel Gallagher that you are describing. Right, okay then, so why don't we listen to The Clash? When The Clash ends, David Walliams will be in this room. There's no telling what he'll do or how he'll respond. I shall literally go and get him now out of a room where he's waiting. Let's listen to The Clash from Walliams. That's Train in Vain, The Clash, and we all enjoyed it enormously. Why don't we create what can only be described as a celebratory atmosphere for the arrival of David Walliams? Oh, he's here! Oh, David!
Yeah.
You're there!
From me,
Oh,
I'm here.
it's so lovely to see you, to actually have you here in person. Are you
look
well?
lovely. You've pleasingly filled out.
I have filled out, haven't I?
Like Morrissey when he became a little bit beefy. Because
yes.
you were very skinny and now you're just very masculine.
I am quite masculine. People do still think of me as slender, but I'm sure you can see I'm rather burly.
Was it true that you wanted to have liposuction?
Yeah, I went to a liposuction place, and the person said, you're not fat enough to have liposuction. You'll have
How
to
much fatter did you need to be?
They said substantially fatter. It was just, to tell you the truth, the whole thing was something of an ordeal.
I'd like one of those little things, those stomach things, staple things.
Staple up your tummy?
Yes.
Why,
Well, because
David?
I'm quite greedy and I'm prone to putting on weight, and I'd quite like one of those.
Even now, you're sat here with a great bag of jelly
Well, no, I
babies,
brought
like
these
a
in
greedy toddler.
because I've sort of given up sweets, so I wanted to share these round, some jelly babies, to everyone in the studio. But I might suck
quite
on.
good-natured of you
I
to
might
do that.
suck on a little black one.
Well, you do whatever it takes, David, to get you through what's going to be a hostile and difficult experience for you. It's certainly sharp. No, it's not. We're overjoyed to have you here. But you don't do, like, people have been excited by the prospect of you talking to actual Noel Gallagher, who I know is a chum of yours, and doing an impression of Liam
I
Gallagher.
don't know where this come from. We did do a rock profile where I was Liam Gallagher and
But it came from that.
Matt was Patsy Kensit.
Right.
Yeah, but it was really unfunny.
Oh, was
The
it?
idea of having to do it again is awful.
Right, just reliving.
But I love Noel, and I'd like to talk to him about Sarah and whether...
Do you find her attractive?
So attractive.
Yeah,
She's so attractive. Even pregnant, she's more attractive.
She radiates. I think Noel knows that there's a ticking clock there with Sarah. That he can't cling on to her forever.
He's one flop album away
Just
from
one.
losing her forever.
That's all he's going to take, and he's in the studio now. It could be a matter of months, David, before she's back on the market.
No,
Admittedly,
she's
she'll have that
lovely.
baby. Yeah, no, she's
I'd
a
even go
delight.
out with her mum or something.
Just for the proximity of it.
Well, no, just because even anyone who looks, even a brother, and just someone who, a dad, someone who looks a little bit like her, I'd go out with.
Yeah, is this Wicked Whisper thing that we just read in one of the papers, is it you? Did you listen to us in the car on the way
what
here?
is the Wicked Whisper?
The Wicked Whisper is, David, that there's there's a hush-hush, it's in the Star,
version.
Oh.
which, yeah, I'll read it out to him, because then I'll have much more control over it. If he's doing it, he can edit it. Right. This British bloke has a reputation for being a bit of a ladies' man, using ladies there because of one of your very popular characters. But in fact, he likes the other sex just as much. No, you're kidding. And who would have thought that the fit fella has a string of blokes he regularly calls up for dirty late-night chats in several places around the world? That was the laugh of recognition from David Walliams there. What would his family make of that? Well, David,
Dirty
is it
late-night
you?
chats?
Yeah, do you dirty late-night chat men around the world?
No, just really in the London area, not really around the world. No, there was another one on me once which said, what not so little British comedian famously bats for the other team, he used to go out with another gay comedian, and I found out who they thought it was, and it was Julian Clary,
I thought that you went after Julian Clary.
who I've met once for about 5 minutes.
But that's often enough.
we did have sex
It
in
was
that
through a
time.
glory hole, singing
No, I think the
into
thing
each other's
is-
bottoms.
The thing is, I think I'm camper on television than I am in real. Well, I'm not that camp in real
Well,
life.
hold on,
am
you
I?
did just to express the idea of campness, you sort of thrust your hand
Well,
forward in an
to show
arch
you
way.
quite how camp I am.
We all speak English, we know what the word camp meant. You, it might as well have been a teapot.
You're camp as
You're
well.
both camp.
Am I? Am I camp, or am I
Yes.
so brutishly heterosexual that there's pregnant people all over the globe just due to me lovely spores being periodically released every time I'm even
No, you're
mild
camp.
into it? No,
Do you
camp.
think you sleep with so many women to try and prove to yourself that you're not gay?
I think I do because it's such tremendous fun. I mean, how much more proof would I need? No, I just really like it such a lot. Such a lot. It's such tremendous japes.
Do you get a terrible low afterwards?
Yeah, oh, there's a terrifying low. Of course there's a terrifying low. But what you do then, David, is get right back on the horse, as they say. Or if it's not a horse you've been sleeping with, human being will do just as well.
Sounds like you have some addiction issues.
How dare you? How dare you accuse me of having an addiction
Who do you
issue?
think slept with the most women out of both of you?
Me, easily.
Obviously, he's ill. For me, it's the hobby. Anyway, I've just got lots of female friends, but you couldn't have any because you wouldn't be able to help yourself.
Yes, I could.
I had lunch with lovely Denise Van Outen today.
She's a lovely woman, isn't
She's
she?
told me you'd filled out.
She said I'd filled out.
She said she was shocked.
Shocked in a she might sleep with me type way.
No, shocked in a horrified way. But she looks so beautiful. She's so hot. She was walking up the street to meet me, and I thought, I'd forgotten how beautiful she was.
So it was like a nice reminder of her
was
beauty.
lovely.
wasn't
She
it?
was
You're
very-
going to get married to her.
January the 15th.
You're going to get married to her.
Well, I
yeah?
don't know. We mentioned it today, but,
Are you both beginning to regret that decision? Who do you think's...
I think she's beginning to regret it. I
Yeah.
quite liked it. It'd be wonderful to be married to her.
I don't know.
She's lovely.
I think she's a lovely woman, but I just don't think you could cope in a marriage to anyone. I think you're just too selfish.
Well, thank you very much for selling me to any potential wives out there. I'm too selfish.
You're
right?
very selfish.
Why am I
self-involved.
selfish? What have I done that's selfish?
Well, you're very self-consumed, aren't you, David? You're a very self-consumed man. Very bullying.
I think you two will end up with
violent.
each other.
Do you think so?
Yeah.
I'm going to have a jelly baby to
Look
cheer
at
myself
comfort
up.
eating a jelly baby, and it
Well,
was a
honest
black
one.
one as well.
I've been
True
hurt.
to his word. Careful of those, they've got animal products in them, I think. Here is a email, David, you have to
Okay.
help us if you're here. It's entitled Vagina. It's from Steve. Hello, Russell, Matt and Mr. G. I thought you'd find this story amusing. I was recovering from the flu whilst listening to your latest podcast. As I was laying down, I heard the mention of the woman who'd be on later who might be singing out of her vagina. I fell into a flu-induced nap. When I awoke sometime later, the aforementioned woman was singing a song. I listened to the entire song the whole time thinking, wow, she's singing that with her vagina. That must be something. I was even musing at the sonority of the voice. I think that's the depth depth, is it, of the voice, and imagining how it must be resonating from the orifice, etc. Thank you. Please withhold my last name if this is read on air. Well, Steve, I don't know, should we withhold his name, or should we name and shame Dirty Steve?
His name's Steve.
Steve, after the numerous double Christian named people that we've been exploring recently. Here's another interesting email. I'll tell you why it's interesting, because it's to do with old Russ. Tracy admits crush on Russell Brand. What? Yeah. How dare you? You selfish...
bring me in here and you talk about yourself.
All right. What's it like being in Little Britain? What's the inspiration behind all your characters?
What's your favourite character? That's the question.
Well, why don't you do the hotel guy anymore? Someone
wants to know that. Why don't you do that hotel bloke anymore?
Oh, well, we just, we did it in the live show, but we just sort of ran out of ideas, really, and so we just couldn't think of any more funny sketches.
Simple as that. Couldn't think of any more.
And also, you have to kill off some characters to make room
for
new ones.
Kill your babies. Could we talk about me again now?
Okay, we're back to you for a moment. No. Sorry, we went off for you for about 10 seconds there.
It did get a bit boring, though. I think we all felt that. The mood dropped there for a while. While we were going on about Walliams' catalogue of characters. You've been off in America, have you, mate?
Yes.
Doing something for HBO. How's that going?
It's going very well, yeah.
Well, I'm sure they'll love you. What happened? What'd you do? Go to meetings?
Yeah, we had lots of meetings. We're filming next year in America, and we're just sort of working out what the show can be in America.
Be a struggle. what do you have to do?
And also, I went to a film premiere of this film Stardust, directed by Matthew Vaughn.
Is
it
stars
Robert De Niro and Michelle Pfeiffer. It's brilliant, yeah.
Really?
Yeah, and Jane Goldman co-wrote the script.
Oh, yeah! What, Jonathan Ross's wife,
and
Jane
Ricky
Goldman.
Gervais is in it. He's brilliant in it, as you'd well imagine. I've only got a very small part in it.
Well, that can only enhance the film in general. An absence of you lumbering selfishly about, attention-seeking, crikey. Yeah, let's have some of the requests we've had. Oh, yeah, you can't do that Liam Gallagher voice because it will irritate you to relive a character that you didn't like doing. People want you to create new characters here and now.
Well, okay. Yeah, we tend to do that.
Would you mind creating characters just on demand?
Well, are there any clues?
All right, we can give you... Yeah, all right, let's think of some characters.
Or do a Zippy impression. We had Zippy on.
We had Zippy on the show, yeah.
The real Zippy?
Yeah, he came on, we upset him because...
Well, did he... they actually bring in the puppet as well?
No, he didn't. We just had him on the phone. He was in the south of France, right? And I goes to him... Well, I was chatting all nicely. He goes, oh, say this. We had all things that, like, listeners wanted to say. Quail's eggs! And things like that. And he did it in good grace. And then, like, we said, like, what is Zippy's, like, sexual persuasion? And he goes, oh, I think Zippy like boys and girls. I goes, oh, what's your genitals like? And he hung up. He just went, He didn't want to describe his genitals. I mean, it had crossed over into a heavy breathing phone call, I suppose, by that time. I mean, any other situation, if someone says describe your genitals, are you going to give that description? David Walliams, it's over to you.
I've got a funny story about genitals, but I can't.
Go on, do it.
I'd have to tell you afterwards.
Well, is it famous people?
No, it involves members of my family, and they wouldn't want you to.
Well, it certainly shouldn't. Jesus Christ.
I'll have to tell you later.
All
anyway,
right. I don't know if I want to know it.
What was this thing we're going to create a character now?
Yeah, alright, let's create a character. Come on, let's think of some criteria for David Walliams. Right, let's take a call from the next person who calls us. 0500 288 291. Next person who calls us, you get to define what David Walliams is Oh God, the show's nearly over. We should get bloody Gallagher on the phone, haven't we? Get Gallagher. Forget people. Get Noel Gallagher.
Get the celebrities. Forget the normal people. They don't count.
We do this whole show for them. We've got to give Noel Gallagher a bit of time because, you know, it's a time of crisis for him. He's out churning out that album. We all know that his time with Sarah's at an end, and it's going to be difficult for him to adapt. Oh, I'm already actually ringing him. You probably should stop that, man. Let's look at Nick all frantic, how lovely and handsome he is. Right, so could you do a character? Perhaps he's, he's from Liverpool, probably, and he's a sexual deviant.
God.
What? I'm just... You do some criteria.
Why's it always got to be about sex?
Why? Well, because that's why we're here. Propagation of the species, survival and sex. I mean, what else you want to do? He's a character who's obsessed with not being eaten by a bear and building good campfires and cave paintings.
I'm laughing.
I love this guy. What's he going to be like? David Walliams. Paint us a picture with your crazy comedy character mind.
I preferred the polar bear one.
Do him then. Do him then if you love him so
from
much.
Liverpool, but he's scared of polar bears.
yeah. Do
He
that.
maybe think I can't do a Liverpool accent, but maybe he thinks there's polar bears hiding everywhere he goes.
Yeah,
So
right.
he's like mentally ill.
That's what you're laughing at, David. The mentally ill. That's
I'm
what
not.
it's come to.
I'm laughing at the idea of it.
Yeah, no, so do I. I mean, the idea of mental illness, that's okay. We can have a good chuckle at it. Actual mental illness, as all of us in this room know,
I
is
do
a drag.
think that comedy and tragedy exist at the same time.
Yeah, they do. They do.
Have we got time for a quick story before Noel Gallagher comes on?
Come on then, because he's on the line and I'm sure he'd like to listen.
Oh
to
no,
you.
if he's there, let's talk to
Well,
him.
we can tell him the story. I mean,
Oh,
he's-
well, okay. Well,
Noel, are you there, darling?
Mate, will survive.
No, because we all know you're a lovely... Have you been listening to this show, Noel?
Yeah, what are the rumours about me and Matt?
The rumours...
What's that about?
Oh, that you're gay. Quite simply, because you're such a camp little devil.
So what's that big bump on the front of my missus' stomach all about then?
That big bump. Well, one night you were
That was
foolish
me.
enough to leave
No,
David
you
and
wish,
I alone
David.
with her.
You wish.
she's so gorgeous, and she looks so beautiful pregnant as well.
She does indeed.
You're
She's
a very,
actually,
very lucky man.
She's actually...
And I mean lucky. It's not
Yeah.
talent or anything. It's just
Sheer
pure
luck.
luck.
She was
Chance.
just saying before she'd like to sleep over with you two in pyjamas.
Oh, all right, let's do
That'd
it.
be lovely. I just love to caress her all night and sort of stroke her hair.
I'd have sex with her while that was going on. I thought, yeah, Dave, you deal with a barnet. I'm in there. You mug.
Yeah, well, the thing is, though,
Pregnant.
Russell, she wouldn't have sex with you.
What? She wouldn't have no sex with old us?
No.
What a nerve. What a cheek.
Would you, even though she's very heavily pregnant?
Well, yeah, I'd be interested. Heavily pregnant. How pregnant? She's sort of 7 or 8 months. Third trimester,
That's
I know the word.
disgusting.
Yeah, but she's, women still have sex, don't they? And late on in pregnancy.
can.
There you are then, what's the problem? Hey, let's get rid of these taboos, man. Why are we living in this crazy world where
Why
you can't
don't
have
you let
sex
Noel
with no
Gallagher
Gallagher
say something?
Go on in, Noel. Say something. He just responds to things.
Shut up!
Look,
Yeah, but I don't. Yeah, but you call me, and then you say, all right, so how's it going? Oh, well, great. What do you want?
I'd like to know, how's the new album going? Because we're all big Oasis fans here.
square.
Don't patronise me, Walliams. You can't care less. You only asked about Kylie Minogue.
I do prefer Kylie Minogue, yes.
Well, yeah, I know you do.
No, ask him. No, remember that time we had a chat and we said, like, David, you said about David not drinking, so how does he cope going out on dates with thick women?
Yeah.
Let's find out about that. No,
Oh, you know, like, because you're always in the paper, right, with some page 3 model or other, right? But you don't drink, right, do you?
No.
How do you go on dates sober? How does that happen?
Yeah, because how do you get
quite
into
easily.
lying to them and
I'm
coming
not
up with
lying to
stories?
them.
Do you get the other woman plastered, and then you remain sober so you've got your wits about you?
That's just one of Walliams' techniques. Get them all plastered, lure them back to his cave.
Yeah,
I don't know
Yours,
everybody,
yours,
but I
yours.
would say, just because they may be in page 3 model doesn't mean they might be very intelligent.
That's true. That is a prejudice that we need to end. That not only the prejudice that David Walliams is a ruthless sexual predator, but page 3 models. I've been out with some very, very bright page 3 models. Nice girls. Well, I can't name them, poor cows. What?
Are we talking about you again?
Yeah, me, Russell. Yeah.
It's back to Russell.
That goes for you as well. You don't drink.
Yeah, no, but I get to the sex much quicker than David. He ponces around drinking, doesn't he?
Yeah, but
Sitting
Russell
having a
just
dinner.
bamboozles them with nonsense.
The old nonsense, mate. What's that face, Walliams?
Well, you disgust me.
What for? What's the matter?
Well, you've got no quality control, have you?
I do have quality control. There is not one of these women that hasn't been aged somewhere between 18 and death. Not one of them. They all fall neatly into that category. Hey, listen, we've got...
Can I say one thing? That
Go on.
Noel Gallagher is a national treasure.
Of course he is. We all know that. We love him and adore him. Yeah, no, did you hear that letter I read out about you?
Yeah. The students always get the wrong end of the stick when they start going on about being bigger than God and all that, don't they, man? They've not got a sense of humour anymore.
No, they've misunderstood
Well,
your
but I'm glad that your show has managed to change the
perception.
opinion of me to a couple of swats.
Okay, here's a question. Is Noel Gallagher the greatest songwriter in England today?
Probably not today.
Hold on, let me see if I can write a quick song now. We're going to see if we can mount a late challenge to that. But he admits himself they don't mean nothing. Unless that's him trying to be all defensive. Oh, I don't know, no, it don't mean nothing. Like when you say to him, oh, like Champagne Supernova, he goes, oh, it don't mean nothing.
It does mean something.
Well, it does mean so much to other people, doesn't it?
Yeah, and it's
Yeah, but does
about
it mean
feeling. The music gives you a feeling.
Yeah, but he got to have some active intellectual intellectual ideology behind it.
It doesn't have to be intellectual, it just has to be intelligent and meant, and that's what it is.
Fair enough, but
I'd
that's
say
synonymous.
Oasis are
David,
anti-intellectual.
you should be my press officer.
Okay, I will be.
Yeah, I won't leave him near your missus. Here, G, come and summarise the show with a poem, because we've got to get to the news. Like, and I know there's some bloody egos in this room right now, but news involves all of us. Let's welcome Mr. G. He's going to do a poem. All right, yes, hello, summarise the show. Down the phone, G.
All right.
Okay, this poem's called Attack of the Quail Eggs. What do you call it when needle touches vinyl and laser hits the discs? MP3s just excite you, podcasts are never missed. It started with a kiss or a desert island wish to have a dirty late night chat about Beano Club membership. In the cinema, spectacular exposure of an external bra, a Wogan wink, a Moomin link, Zippy swiftly driven to his fuming brink, and who could think Sunshine TV causing Matthew to blink, or Russell enjoying Mr. Woodward so his wood would not limp. What do you call it when comedic minds intertwine? One line is flowing like a river of sharks basking with a smile, and all the while with this camp competition there's only one way to go, to watch the biggest ego paint the whole town with a rainbow.
All on the mic, all made up from the content of this show. I had you, Gallagher, judging it when you come out of all sorts of brain, sunshine, feeling fine. Hour after hour of that we've tolerated. Well done, G, that's another fantastic poem. Okay, this show's nearly at an end. Noel, have you got anything you want to add?
For that.
Have I got anything to say?
Yeah, have you? No swearing.
Well, hello, goodbye to David. I'll probably bump it. Me and David and no, it's the little fella around there.
You're neighbours with Matt, but it's always a great pleasure to see you. We get quite excited when you see
I always bump into David.
How many
I'll say
months?
goodbye to Matt. See you later, Matt.
See you later, Noel.
See you later, Russell.
When's the baby due?
The baby is due on the 16th of September.
Would you like me to be there for the birth?
I wouldn't, but Sarah would.
I think that'd be a bleak moment.
I feel I should.
You clawing at that woman's thighs.
I'd probably creep me out if you were there, but Sarah would love it.
No one needs that. I'll be there. It is, after all, mine. Noel Gallagher, thank you very much for your brilliant contribution to our show. We love you. I'll talk to you next week. Let's go to I want to see City West Ham with you.
I'm going next week, yeah.
All right, well, yeah, I'm definitely going.
I'll call you Friday.
Right, talk to you later. There's Noel Gallagher.
Bye.
There he goes. Noel Gallagher, national treasure, perhaps the greatest living songwriter that we have on the whole stinking planet. Go on then, Walliams.
What?
Well, you just sat there, gaping, your jaw hanging open, drool perpetually on your lips. What should you be doing one of your late night gay calls around the globe, should you?
I like it's around the world. There's men in Puerto Rico I'm phoning. What are you wearing? Tell me.
Just a poncho, really. but it looks great. I'm stiff.
Men around the world, he's phoning them up.
Yeah.
It's so strange, isn't it? I might start doing it now.
Why not? Give it a go. Thank you very much. This show's nearly in. Thank you, Matt Morgan. Thank you, Mr. G. Thank you, David Walliams, for being such a spectacular special guest. It's lovely to have you here. Thank you, Noel. Thanks mostly, though, yous lot for listening to our show and our podcast. Stay with us. Keep us number one. We're going to do that ice cream van soon. Love you! Right, a time for us to learn what the hell's going on in this wretched, swirling mess we've created for ourselves on a little show I like to call Newsy Poos. 88 and 91 FM. This is Radio 2 from the BBC. Bye!
The 11 o'clock news now. This is Andrea Simmons.